Hello and welcome to the Apocalypse Soon podcast. And now, your host, Eddie Pepitone.
Hey, everybody! One more day closer to death. One more moment closer to the ultimate demise, not only of ourselves, which are decaying at this moment, but the American empire and civilization in general. And it's all going to shit faster than you can say. Superstorms in Ontario, tornadoes in the Midwest. It's all coming to a violent conclusion, and I am here today to take you through with another episode of Apocalypse Soon. And believe me, it is soon, and I am here today with probably the best band leader I could have gotten at the last moment on a severe budget. A man who really, I haven't paid him yet, but he knows that that is in the cards and will depend on many ambiguous things. Please welcome the band, Bobby and the Mephistophelians. Bobby!
Whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody's kung fu fighting, baby. How we doing?
Everybody is kung fu fighting. By the way, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever taken a self-defense course? Because the violence is ratcheting up. I think we know that since COVID, by the way, over 1 million deaths, probably closer to 1.3 million, maybe even more than that. Mm-hmm. In the United States, by far the world's largest total of COVID deaths. Yep. Yet you have had COVID how many times?
Gosh, I think I'm up to, what am I up to? Mike, what do you think?
Mike, what is Bobby up to as far as COVID deaths?
Looks like he's up to about 37 officials, but we're
37 times Bobby's had COVID, yeah?
Yeah, but it seems about right. Yeah, and it's you know, and that, here's the thing, Eddie, you quote these numbers and whatnot, but look, a lot of those guys died from stubbing their toes, and then they're going up. Probably the COVID.
Stubbing toe deaths are so up.
It's on the rise.
And I'll tell you, folks, I've stubbed my toe, and I know Bobby has too. And I don't mean stubbing, my toe as a metaphor for a mistake. I'm talking about in the middle of the night, you get up, you want a bagel with vegan cream cheese and vegan salmon and, some vegan pork rinds, right? I mean, I don't know.
You mouth water
come on, Bobby. You're making my mouth water with just the outfits you wear. Look.
Oh, my God. I appreciate
Bobby,
you.
Come on. People must sense the sexual tension in the studio.
That's how you keep it good.
What?
That's how you keep it good. When you improvise, you got to be loose on a breeze. You know what I mean? And I'm back here, I got my horn, I'm blowing, I'm going.
Oh, I know, Bob.
Oh, baby, you know what I mean?
First of all, it's great to have you here. Your band is just such a good band, and it just plays all. Who are your biggest music influences?
I love Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's my number one.
You know who I love?
Yeah.
I love what's smaller than a flea? That's what I want to say.
Oh, Amoeba.
Amoeba's
small.
Well, Amoeba Records. Is it still around? Yeah, Amoeba Records is still. If you haven't been to Amoeba Records, please go. It's super tiny. If you've ever seen an Amoeba.
I've been kicked out of that place a number of times. I always go in with my demo. I go, come on, please. Come on,
I'm always returning stuff. You ever been destitute, folks? Well, more than half the country is. Maybe closer to 60% of the country. Anyway, there's going to be makeshift gangs soon. But have you ever... makeshift weapons with itinerant gangs. I'm sorry, I didn't finish that thought. But have you ever gone to a record store with your old stuff and go, how much can I get
for
this?
Absolutely. I used to go to Columbia House. Great scam, by the way. Columbia House, you get a dozen CDs for a penny. And then you write them a letter, you say, I'm not even 18 yet. And then you take them to the Tower Records, and you turn in your dozen Saturday Night Fever albums that you got for free from Columbia House. And now you're rolling with, $60, $70.
Wow.
You can get a bunch of extra reads right out of the box. You don't have to, it's
I
free
go
money.
in with my MP3s now. I just have them on my phone, and I'm like, what can you give me for this MP3? And they're like, what is it, sir? And I say, it's an MP3 of me making fart noises. And they're like, well, fart noises aren't selling. And I'm like, how do you fucking know? Because I like to challenge people who are not making much money as clerks. I say, how do you fucking know, clerky? And I call him clerky.
Plus, these guys don't know the quality of your farts. You know what I mean? Like you sure, fart records aren't selling. Have you heard the Eddie Pepitone farts?
Have you heard the Eddie Pepper? Which, by the way, have gotten more and more complicated as I've grown older. My farts now, not only are they lethal, but they are just the sound that comes out now. It actually sounds like, please help me. Like when a fart comes out now, it's sort of like, oh my God, I'm dying. Like it's saying things like, somebody get the police. Or one of the things my farts are constantly saying now is, we need paperwork if we're going to take the train. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what
I've always said your asshole it reminds me of Jim Henson a little bit. You know what I mean? The way
he talks.
Yeah. It's
Henson
beautiful.
was great. By the way, do you know that Henson worked himself to death? By the way, we're just seamlessly going from farts to Muppets.
Oh, beautiful.
Which, by the way, farts to Muppets is replacing soup to nuts as the new saying. So kids, get on your slang thing.
You got. It's good that you do that for the people. People got to figure out how to talk around it. And a lot of these guys, they get old, they get loose, and complacent. And it's good that you're coming in with the slang and whatnot. And you're doing a real service, Eddie. I just want to tell you that.
It's just that Henson. Here's a guy who gave so much joy to the world. With Muppets, Pepe. Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fuzzy Bear.
Yeah.
Cookie Monster. All these fucking Muppets.
Did you get any inspiration when you stand up from Fuzzy Bear?
Waka waka waka. Was that him?
Yeah,
waka waka. No, my first influence as a stand-up was this guy who was drunk in an alley all the time, and he could never stand up. And when he finally stood up one day, I said, I'm going to be a stand-up. And I know it's
He inspired you.
He inspired me by standing up.
Sometimes.
No, you know who my favorite, I guess my biggest influences for stand-up growing up as a small child was Walter Cronkite, who was a funny man. A lot of people just saw Walter. If you don't know Walter Cronkite, that's because you're an idiot. But Walter Cronkite was the newsman on CBS who announced the Kennedy assassination and took his glasses off slowly and cried. And I watched that clip every night before I go to bed. I watch Cronkite announcing the Kennedy assassination every night before I go to bed. What do you watch right before you go to bed?
Right before I go to bed.
I watch disasters like Cronkite crying. I like to watch a tornado that's devastated Tennessee, let's say. I like to watch, the latest reviews on monkeypox. What do you like to watch?
I'll tell you, I'm going to be vulnerable with you right now, but my neighbor's kid got me into videos of girls sitting on cakes.
Are you serious? Is that a thing?
Oh God, I love it. I love it.
Is it a thing?
It's a thing, baby. I tell you, you can they'll sit on the cake, they'll squash on some raisins, or they'll squish a ho-ho in their fist. And I don't know what it is.
I wish I had a nickel for every time I squished a ho-ho in my fist.
Oh, you could do it professionally. I think you could. I think you could do anything.
I believe you, by the way. Let's get our producer in here. Kevin, take it!
Hey, thanks, pal. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
I'm good. I just want to confirm with you. Is it a thing that people are watching?
It really is.
Girls sit on cakes? Are men sitting on cakes?
I'm sure.
Are women? How old are these girls sitting on cakes?
I don't know. I know that I imagine, like all pornography or versions of scintillation, there's something sexual there.
Well, yes. Well, it depends on, is it an anniversary cake? Is it a birthday cake?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it like happy graduation cake?
I don't know. I've seen reference to it, and I've seen something, and it's not sexual, but it's just weird. It's called squish porn.
Are you being serious?
I'm being 100% serious.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't, it's not what I'm into.
Well, no.
I have to see.
No, hey, I want people to know that my producer, Kevin Tinkin, is not into squish porn.
No way.
Okay, which is where women sit on cakes, whether they're happy graduation or congratulations cakes. You know what? I think I'm going to start older men sitting on congratulation cakes. And I'll tell you why. Because I am sick of getting congratulated. What I want is money. And you can go to patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone. All right? And I will make you this pledge. If I get a big uptick in Patreon subscribers, I will sit on 2 congratulation cakes. 1 chocolate, 1 vanilla, okay? And I will sit on them with assless chaps. No, I'm being serious. And I have a lot of, you gave me a pair of assless chaps.
Yeah.
It was for getting, I think, our 35th Patreon subscriber. You said, Eddie, here's a pair of assless.
What do you get the man who has everything?
You get him pants without ass.
Who needs
covering?
the ass? Get that ass out. Free.
Get the ass out, folks. Get the ass out. Which would be a good saying for some product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the spot out. Get the ass out. Something like that.
What if you did release you sitting on a cake and all of a sudden all your financial problems go away?
Well, isn't that the weirdest thing in the age of the internet is that you don't know what is going to go viral or what's going to make you a thing with people, sitting on cakes is something, and I think sitting on cakes is going to replace all the manufacturing jobs we lost. I think that, people who lost all their manufacturing jobs because of NAFTA, which was, orchestrated by the Clintons and all the usual suspects. By the way, if you think the Democrats are better than the Republicans in response to war and corporate interests, Wall Street or the Pentagon, you aren't paying attention because they're not. They're totally in bed with these people. And so a lot of people who lost all their manufacturing jobs are now sitting on cakes for money. Hey, Al! Yeah, Margaret? Al, why don't you sit on a cake and I'll film it? Maybe we can eat this week. What are you talking about? How is me sitting on a cake going to make us money? All the kids love it, Al. It's called squish porn. Squish porn? What kind of sickness is invading you, Margaret? Al? Yes? Sit on a cake, Al. Please sit on a cake naked. Margaret, the only way I'll sit on a cake is with assless chaps. All right? I'm not sitting on it thoroughly naked. All right, sit on it with assless chaps and I'll film you from behind. Margaret, first of all, I don't like the term behind, especially when I'm talking about assless chaps. And secondly, I need you to get me 2 cakes ASAP. All right, Maggie? All right, Al.
I love the idea of Al and Margaret, and Al's sitting on cakes, and Margaret's doing mukbangs where she just eats a. Have you ever heard about mukbangs?
What the fuck is that?
Eddie, I'm bringing you into
Tell
the
me, what is
21st
it?
century. So mukbangs are when people will get an embarrassing amount of food, like a huge tray of food.
Okay.
And a lot of times they'll dip it in butter, and it's like this huge feast. And people just watch them stuff their face. And it's called a mukbang, and it's like ASMR
Food
mukbang.
porn?
Yeah, it's like food porn. It's like there's something going on there.
I'll tell you what's going on as Kevin describes this stuff to me. The collapse of a once like functioning world. We are going to hell in a handbasket. It is unbelievable that people can't even eat. I think it's 17 million children go to bed hungry at night. Yet people are doing mukbangs with food.
Well, wouldn't that be fun though?
I don't think so. I don't like that's overeating. Like if you mukbang, then you've got to go to the gym a lot.
Yeah,
don't you?
True. Yeah, or you.
Hey,
gotta...
Fred. Yeah, Tom. You want a mukbang on video? What are you talking about, Al? I'm not Al. I'm Tim. I don't know who the fuck you are. What are you talking about, Fred? I'm not Fred. I'm Lou. All right, Lou, do you want to do a mukbang with me? Sure, Fred. What is a mukbang? Fuck you, Al. I'm not Al. Hey, anyway.
Yeah,
a mukbang sounds just weird.
It's very weird. It's odd. There's some people that literally have gone from little waifs of people and their popularity grows with the mukbang, and they tried out other stuff on their YouTube channel, and then they do one of these mukbangs and it starts getting more, and then you see these guys or people that are in good shape, fine, and then a year later they got 1 million subscribers, but they've ballooned up and they're having health problems.
Of course, my
crazy.
doctor has told me, do not get involved in mukbangs with your cholesterol level, and if you are going to mukbang, make sure it's vegan.
A vegan mukbang.
A vegan mukbang.
And they're just eating celery.
How do you spell mukbang?
I think MUCKBANG. I think
just the way it sounds. Anyway, we have a great show for you today.
Yes.
Even though our civilization is crumbling, you know what it sounds like to me? This mukbang shit. It sounds like the fall of Rome. I mean, just the indulgence. What
a vomitorium. You know that?
It sounds like a vomitorium.
Yeah, that's real. And
I know it is.
It's
Gavin.
happening. It's so crazy.
Dude,
it blows me away.
We are totally in a free fall of civilized society. Look at all these mass shootings.
Yeah.
Look at all of this shit. Mass shootings, mukbangs.
Well, the good ones aren't even leaving their house. You know what I mean? Like the people that aren't shooting and do the crazy stuff, the normal people, they go to, they just stay home. Like
they just stay home and grill things.
Yeah.
They're having their own mukbang.
Pull out the George Foreman and
Harry, Louise. Instead of going out to the opera, I'm just scared of all the violence. Why don't we grill a nice piece of salmon? All right, but I had my heart set on going out to the opera. Yeah, but there's so much violence and mukbangs. Why don't we go just grill salmon and watch Antiques Roadshow?
Yeah.
We do it every night like that. I know. But salmon is good, and I like guessing the price of a violin. Right?
It's good times. It's great times.
All right. Well, we have another pandemic coming. I don't know what the monkeypox thing is, but we're going to find out. We have a great show for you. Please be a Patreon member. I can't live like you folks. I need people donating to me so I can be part of a floating city. Have you ever heard of floating cities? They are what the rich are doing in response to climate breakdown.
I know. The only time I saw it was when it was on your dream wall of your on your hope chest. That you had the floating island.
By the way, my dream wall is something I put together on caulk, where I just put up the things.
Easy.
What?
Take it easy.
I know. I am
easy.
into caulk because I did date a Greek fisherman when I was in troubled times. And I mean, like, just, I dated a Greek fisherman when I was into netting. I loved netting. The way Greek fishermen throw nets, it got to me
It's impressive.
at some point.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, Arios. I said, Arios. And he said, that's
Yes.
not my name. And I said, what accent is that? He said, I'm a Greek.
I'm a Greek. It's me, Armanos. I'm just a Greek fisherman out here.
Last thing I heard about Greece was that their economy was collapsing and that their traffic was horrific, but they do have a left-wing socialist, so that's encouraging.
That is encouraging. Yeah, their economy completely fell apart.
It did? You know about this?
Greek? Oh, the Greece?
Greece,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was bad. But I'll tell you what a salad though. You know what I mean? If you
Hey,
you got to look on the bright
these
side.
are the kind of things we're going to be talking about if you want to become a Patreon member or Patreon. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. How would you pronounce it?
I like the way you say it.
That's a supportive producer.
That's right.
All
Keep
right.
them happy.
We're going to get started, eh?
Yeah, sounds
All right,
good.
everybody. Thanks for joining us. Remember, Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. I'm sure you've gleaned that already, that there is no upside here. We're all going to die.
Now we're joined in the field by the last newscaster.
Good evening, everybody. I mean, no one. That's right, I am the last newscaster because the apocalypse has happened. Nuclear winter is here. Our top story tonight, I'm losing my fucking mind. And wouldn't you if you were the last newscaster? I'm losing my fucking mind. Have I said that already? I hope I did. Now let's go to me for sports. Nothing again on the schedule. The only sport there is left is the sport of me looking in the mirror and saying to myself, you are death itself. That is the only sport left. Last night I was able to say that to myself 121 times before I collapsed in a pool of radiation. I don't know how long I will be here, but as long as I am, my promise to you is that I will give the news each night, which is, help me, by God, help me. If you can hear this, if there's another person alive, please bring sweets, little treats to me, or old tapes, old recordings of good things like the Queen of England throwing a bouquet to some asshole, or like a nice, woman opening up gifts from Disney, something. If you can hear my voice, contact me. This has been I'm Losing My Fucking Mind.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Now, Eddie Pepitone gives the commencement speech to the class of 2022 at Bakersfield Community College.
Hello, Bakersfield grads. Well, what an auspicious day for you. I mean, to graduate Bakersfield Community College, I would say it's akin to opening something like a bottle of milk. No, they don't make that anymore, do they? Ha ha ha! Anyway, it is a big day. What have you to look forward to as a graduate? I'll tell you what you have to look forward to. You have to look forward to robots chasing you in Amazon warehouses. They keep you from going to the bathroom. So congratulations. Your degree Excuse me. I just ate a psilocybin mushroom. Your degree means absolutely nothing because capitalism takes people and eats them and spits them out. But you should still feel proud that you were able to survive 4 years in Bakersfield. Just think about that. Most people who are out here for even 20 minutes just to run into a printing shop, to fax something to a courtroom, to avoid prosecution. They want to get the fuck out of Bakersfield as soon as they can. But what I want to say to you is that as a college graduate from Bakersfield community, you must start to think outside the box. And the box I'm talking about is the box that most people are going to be kept in. The box that is run by CEOs and corporations. We are kept in boxes, and they are our apartments that we have to pay ridiculous rents for. I want to tell you that most of you will get evicted. Congratulations. Most of you will be evicted within, I would say, a month or two after graduation. Another thing is, learn how to shoot a weapon, graduates. That may be the most important skill. Learn how to dig into the ground. You're going to have to hide, bury yourself. Do you know how to bury yourself? Learn how to breathe underneath dirt. You're going to have to learn how to breathe in a coffin because we have to be able to survive in this economy. With climate breaking down and the oceans rising, you better be able to swim, folks. Know who your lifeguards are, who your friends are, who can swim, because the ocean's rising. They will carry a lot of us away. Even in Bakersfield, which is inland, the oceans will eventually cover the land. And another thing, learn how to off yourself, to commit suicide at a moment's notice because of the roving fascist itinerant gangs. Have you seen Mad Max, the movie? Well, that is it's gonna be just like that, folks. It's gonna be just like that. Also, learn distress calls. Like, it just doesn't do to yell, "Help me." You have to really have a scream that is so piercing, it pierces through the other screams for help. Like, really make your scream for help your own. And there are many courses you can take in graduate school. That's the one thing. I don't know why you're graduating. Go to graduate school immediately. Stay in the bubble of college, because the world out there is an absolute nightmare. Speaking of nightmares, everybody has nightmares. I wake up in the middle of the night wondering how I'm going to come up with $4,000 by 6 a.m. And I never have an answer for that, except to take a scissor and hurt someone, and hopefully they have $4,000 on them. These are the ways you have to start thinking, college grads. All right, I hope I haven't been too negative. Speaking of negatives, always try to get the negatives from your photographs. People will take them. Okay, everybody. Goodbye and good luck.
And congratulations to the graduating class of 2022. And now Eddie Pepitone gets hired as the corporate comedian for Halliburton at their annual retreat.
Hello, death merchants. Hey, I just want to say I'm a big fan of cluster bombs. You guys here at Raytheon, all your death technology is really terrific. Hey, I just want to tell you about a little story. you guys had supplied the technology, the drone technology that killed innocent civilians throughout Afghanistan when we were in the Afghanistan war, and you make the drones that kill so many people. And I have a note here to make fun of Bill, who was one of the makers of the drone. And Bill, apparently what you did is you programmed a few of these drones that were used in Afghanistan and went off target. You were the one who misprogrammed it. And you killed so many innocent civilians, men, women, and children. So, Bill, enjoy your shrimp cocktail here. Another note I have here is people wanted me to make fun of Tim, head of the cluster bomb manufacturing process. Tim, the cluster bombs that just absolutely, the fragments kill all kinds of innocent people. And Tim was the one who came up with the phrase collateral damage instead of human beings. Hey, way to be completely divorced from reality, Tim. Anyway, I just want to say, Raytheon, as a comic, it's so good to know that you guys make, just so much obscene money and money covered in blood because of all the money you make, but you have a great benefit package. Anyway, it's been my pleasure, folks, and may I say, try the innocent civilian buffet. Just kidding. I know that there has to be casualties in the fight for freedom, and I don't know which one of you came up with the phrase "fighting for democracy," but that seems to work among all the fucking idiots out there. So congratulations, Halliburton. Oh God, I'll tell you, being a corporate comedian is great because it means that I make a lot of money, doing jokes to you people who promote death. Death and destruction, destroying the environment, destroying, people's lives, killing children, killing women, not to mention all the mimes that you killed. At least you killed some mimes. Fuck them, right? Oh, I'm in a box. Here you go, mime. Here's a cluster bomb. All right, everybody. I think I've done enough damage. Not as much as you guys do, but certainly enough damage. All right, I've got to go over to Grumman Northrop and then Boeing to do their retreats. Boy, those guys are great too. All right, good night.
Wasn't he great, guys? Give it up for Eddie Pepitone, everybody. Okay, make sure we grab your guns, guys. Let's get back.
And now, join us for Confessions of an Ice Road Trucker.
Yeah, hi. My name is Dom. I'm not going to give you my last name because the thing I'm about to confess is very fucked up. I'm an ice trucker and I deliver peas. Just single peas and peas in a pod, they're called anyway. It's specialty peas that are grown in arid regions of the Mideast, and I deliver them to the Oregon area. And what I want to say is that I was high on bennies, and I didn't know what I was doing because of all the ice and all the bennies. And I wound up, and I don't even remember this, because I was drinking melon balls. I was drinking melon balls, which is Midori liqueur. And, that's all you really have to know. Midori liqueur. It's that green, sweet liqueur I was drinking a melon ball, doing a Benny, and I wound up in a furniture store in Eugene, Oregon. And I took a shit on a couch, and nobody knew it. And I'll never forget that when I left the store, I saw a family, going to look at that couch. And the last thing I heard before getting back in my truck was screaming, from the family. The children, the wife, even the husband let out a gasp. I don't know. I do feel better after this confession. And I promise never to do it again, even though I did piss on a love seat not too long ago. But at least it wasn't a bowel movement. I'm Ice Trucker Dom, and that's my confession.
This has been Confessions of an Ice Road Trucker. And now, Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.
I stepped out of my apartment, my little one-room hovel. The only thing I do in there is read my Dostoevsky novel, The Karamazov Brothers, and I took the novel with me, and it was getting wet in the rain, so I jumped in the car. I threw the Karamazov Brothers novel next to me in the passenger seat, which was cluttered. My passenger seat was cluttered with peanuts and pistachios. I'm vegan, so I need protein from nuts. Empty cans of legumes and chicken wings from a Korean place. It's the only non-vegan thing I will have is chicken wings from a Korean place. I love the spice they do. I'm not sure if it's North Korean or South Korean. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not playing politics when I have chicken wings as a vegan.
Korea is Korea.
The rain was coming down so hard as I put her in drive. She purred awake, and the rain felt heavy. The rain felt as heavy as a story by Raymond Carver. You ever read a short story by Raymond Carver? Look it up, idiots. Google Raymond Carver. His short stories are so fucking bleak that you want to put a gun under your jaw and pull the trigger while watching WWE, and the rain was coming down. The rain, it was so heavy. The rain was heavier than a Carver short story. The rain was heavier than an elephant who was in Overeaters Anonymous. The rain was heavier than a building, the Chrysler Building, or I think the tallest building now is somewhere in Riyadh or one of those Middle Eastern cities where oil, which is destroying us all, builds big buildings. And I was on La Cienega, and the rain pounded. It pounded down on my windshield, and I loved it. I love the chaos the rain brings. And by chaos, I'm talking about chaos theory. Stephen Hawking, God rest his soul, used to write a lot about chaos theory, but what else did he have to do? Huh? You're not going to be playing basketball with that kind of physical form, are you? You're going to be writing about chaos theory and string theory and all kinds of theories. And Hawking said about chaos theory that there is a beautiful, beautiful reason. There's a beautiful underlying linear something that underlies the chaos. And I know a lot of this isn't making sense, but when you were driving in the rain and the rain coming down so viciously that you can't see out the window. I'm talking about vicious rain, more vicious than a little terrier that is protecting his great owner, a terrier whose name is Charlotte, and she's protecting me because she knows I love her so much, and I kiss her belly all the time, and I give her treats. That's how vicious. And Charlotte's protecting me. That's how vicious the rain was coming down. The rain was coming down more vicious than a right-wing moron attacking someone for getting vaccinated, like a right-wing moron who chooses to die on the hill of anti-vaccination instead of trying to get unionized or health care. They die on the hill of anti-vaccination. And just then, as I was driving through the streets, I saw a beautiful woman with a prosthetic leg just clumping down La Cienega. I slowed my Instacart, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash vehicle down, and I said, "Hey, is that a prosthetic leg?" She stopped in the rain. I couldn't tell if she was crying or it was just a massive amount of rain pouring down her face. And that's the one thing about vicious rain, about unrelenting rain, is that you don't know when someone is crying. And we are now in a nation of people who are just crying. And yet if it's raining, you don't know if they're crying. And that's trouble, especially if you're a shrink who sees people outdoors. You don't know if your client's crying or if your client is just wet as fuck. One way you could do that, know if they're crying or not, is just have a big umbrella or get an office inside.
Easy solutions.
So I asked her again, "Is that a prosthetic leg?" She took it off, which means it was a prosthetic leg. And she handed it to me and said, "You a leg man?" And I said, "I am now. Why don't you get in the car?" She had handed me the leg through the window, the passenger side window, just in case you're wondering how this worked physically. She hopped into my vehicle. I offered her a cigarette. She took it. She lit it. And she said to me in a very slow southern drawl, "Y'all going downtown?" And I said, "I am now." She said, "You work for Instacart?" I said, "I do. I work for Instacart. I work for Uber. I work for Lyft. I work for DoorDash. I'm a gig economy guy." She said, "I like a man who's got a lot of gigs." And I go, "You don't mean gigabytes, do you?" The rain started coming down in torrents. I'm talking about, have you ever seen A Raging River? Not the fly fishing movie with Brad Pitt, but Deliverance, where Burt Reynolds, he got killed. I don't know. And Ned Beatty got fucked by Hellbilly. Anyway, it was
Purdy mouth.
It was raining like in Deliverance. Her leg was on my dashboard. We were heading downtown, and the rain kept coming down, and we just sped to downtown, downtown into love, downtown into prurient pleasure, downtown where all the good, vicious, overwhelmed people go.
This has been Driving in the Rain with Eddie Pepitone.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again here at Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. I just want to say great show. Remind you of a couple of things. One, and this is the most important, we are all going to die. And and by the way, that's why I call this the podcast with no upside. We are going to die, whether it's a couple of days, a couple of years, or 50 years. We are going to be dead. So meditate on your death. Meditate on your death, because the Buddhists say that is an important thing to do, to meditate on your death. And we've had a great show, right, Kev? What should we tell the people? Review us?
Review us on iTunes, and if you've already left us a review on iTunes, go to another podcast and leave us a review on their podcast. You know, point people our direction.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting technique.
I'm telling you, baby.
Hey, we need to get by. I mean, I'm not the type of guy who sits on cakes.
Yeah, I know. We got to do everything we can. You know, it's like go out there. If you got a big sign, go out in the front yard and tell people to listen to Apocalypse Soon. And send us an email to eddiepeppodcast@gmail.com. Shout out to Trey Howard, Allison McFarland, Whitney Lynn, and Mike Thur. We got some good emails from you this last week. And just keep showing us some love. We appreciate the viewers, and we'll
right. Patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone. You know, I need to eat. Kevin needs to eat. Mm-hmm. Aaron, our other producer, needs to eat. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of folks who need to eat, including 17 million children who go hungry every night. And we're all going to die. And it all started in the it all started with Vietnam. Anyway, it's good that everybody joined in, and we'll see you next time on Apocalypse Soon.